The most obvious description of a game like Bayonetta would be over the top, but there is so much substance behind it that Bayonetta rises above all of its competition. This may perhaps be the first action game to satisfyingly match its sexual, stylized, and often sacrilegious presentation with an audaciously successful battle system.
I feel like a fucking celebrity in this town.
Bayonetta is a witch that existed 500 years in the past, but when angels sparked the witch hunts, Bayonetta was sealed up by unknown forces. Waking up in the modern day, she finds out that with the help of humans, angels succeeded in wiping out all of the witches from the world. Bayonetta is definitely a visually striking game, to say the least. Speaking of which, Bayonetta herself is one of the most striking aspects of the game. As far as character design, hers is one of the most intricate I've ever seen. She uses her hair as a conduit to summon demons, but she also uses her hair as an outfit, so when she summons a demon, her clothes inevitably peel off. You can witness this in both gameplay and in cutscenes. Cutscenes in Bayonetta are beautifully done, with great direction and action sequences that invigorate the player for the fights ahead. However, some cutscenes go through a film rail and are far less interesting to sit through. Taking control of Bayonetta feels like a never-ending privilege as you press buttons on the controller and every action she makes on screen makes you feel like a badass. The player is given worlds to explore and fight through with chapters that can be revisited anytime. In these chapters, players can run around to find hidden items and unlockables that'll help them in their journey, as well as solve a few environmental puzzles to progress. At the end of each chapter, the player is awarded a medal based on how much damage was taken, how high the combo score was, and how fast everything was completed. Pure Platinum is the highest reward, and the replay value of the game is centered on trying to get Pure Platinum on every chapter. Easier said than done. This is not an easy game, and unfortunately, there are a few instances where the player has to input a QuickTime command at random times in a level that have very strict timing, often leading to a game over in an unfair way. Regardless of this drawback, the fighting in Bayonetta is truly what ties the game into a seemingly perfect package. The combat is so spectacular because it is so easily accessible, yet so deep at the same time. As you play through the game, you'll find new combos, unlock new moves and skills, discover different ways to do combos through split-second pauses, and most importantly, improve your dodging. If a dodge is successfully executed last second when an enemy attacks, Bayonetta will slow down time for a few seconds, giving the player the chance to make a fool out of the enemy, or even gain the upper hand when things seem bleak. Torture attacks offer another insanely fun way to mix up bouts. She summons contraptions that were used against witches in the witch hunts. After performing a series of button presses, Bayonetta will have her fun in enacting her poetic revenge against the angels that killed her friends and family. The ends of small fights are marked by some fun camera snaps that capture the final moments of that last angel's existence, but bigger and tougher enemies are met with a climax command. These are some of the most iconic moments in the game. Bayonetta performs an ancient chant and dance, peeling her clothes completely off to summon a giant demon to shred her big-sized foe to pieces. Very few things are more satisfying than showing an enemy just how much power you've been hiding from them the whole match, before obliterating them in utter overkill. As for the bosses, Bayonetta does not fail to impress. These are some of the biggest, most well-designed, and terrifying bosses in the standards of any game. Once Bayonetta gets started, it hardly lets up. Every fight, every level, every boss gets more insane and outrageous than the last, climaxing in what has to be the craziest finale in any game I've ever played. Bayonetta is near perfection.
dark